Heading into this weekend's Route 66 Nationals, it signals a lot of stories of returns when it comes to racing in the city of Chicago. It marks the first return of racing in the city of Chicago in almost 4 years. It marks the return of TJ Zizzos in a Top Fuel dragster, making his first start in a couple years. But also making his return to Top Fuel racing is Will Smith, along with multi-time NHRA champion Larry Dixon. Heading into this weekend's event, it's his first race since his debut race at the U.S. Nationals last year, which we did an interview with him back then too. Now he heads into a second race with a little bit more confidence. He looks to make the 16-car field. He was the 17th car at the U.S. Nationals, and now he looks to bump himself one spot higher going into this weekend. We had a chance to catch up with Larry and with Will ahead of this weekend's race, get their thoughts and opinions as they head into it, and what they hope to achieve as we head into this weekend's Route 66 Nationals. Here's what they had to say. All right, Sarah, Will Smith. Okay, Will, first race back since Indianapolis. He had a really good showing there. How excited are you to be able to go back to Chicago, not only to make your return, but to be a part of really racing's first return to Chicago in almost 4 years?
I am very excited. Route 66 Raceway is actually one of my favorite tracks to go to. I won my first round of competition in Top Alcohol Dragster there, and just a special place to me. Have a lot of friends in the area that I consider like family, so it'll be cool. It's almost like a homecoming, so to speak. So looking forward to being back out there. More importantly, looking forward to getting this hot rod back on track with Larry Dixon and the band of brothers.
Well, it would be a shame for it to go away. I mean, it's a really, really nice facility. So, and you know, coming from growing up in the sport, and when I was a kid, there weren't even racetracks that looked anywhere near like that. I mean, it's a Coliseum-style design. So, if it's out there, it'd be nice to be able to use it. So to have it back on the tour and us to be able to participate in it, it's looking forward to it.
You talk about that, obviously, like you person. This is pretty much an entire like family fed effort. Kind of touch upon that and how you got to know all these guys and where did this all start to get ready for Chicago? Because I know a lot of them are from Indy, but what was the process afterwards of the decision of let's go to Chicago and let's try this out?
Everybody likes a good story, you know. All of these people here are friends, they're racers, they're race fans, people who have supported me in one way or another, if they were just stood in my corner over the years or if they helped us monetarily now, you know. So everyone looked at Indy and, you know, they were happy with how we showed there, you know, like just really excited to be a part of it. And they see a lot of promise with our team here and our efforts, and they want to be a part of it once again. So it's just it's going to be a great weekend. We're really looking forward to it.
And you've taken a very much kind of, in this day and age, a different approach to getting. You took a more old school approach, having to start from the bottom, work at Al-Anabi, which is, I believe, how you met Larry to begin with, and then working your way up, getting right there, and then doing the same with Top Alcohol. Kind of talk about that process and getting there, and what are the benefits of doing it the hard way, of having to learn these cars, of kind of learning to walk before you can run. How has that helped you get to this kind of moment?
Oh, it's been tremendous. The way I chose, the path I went, which involved many paths, that it involved a path that maybe didn't work out, and you know, get back on another path, and it was all part of a process that led up to driving a Top Fuel dragster for Larry Dixon. But going about it the way I did, you know, working for other teams, I got my degree in marketing from the University of Alabama just to find sponsors and go racing one day. People was like, you have to have a degree for that? I'm like, you do if you don't come from money, you know, if you want to pursue this career. So getting an education there, working for Shannon Jenkins and Mike Castellano with the Al-Anabi team, Steve Johnson, Pro Stop Motorcycle, you know, been a lot of people I've been involved with. I had some great mentors who have, you know, shared their story with me, their advice, and it gave me some direction. And working as a crewman, a team manager, a marketing guy, I just tried to be as versatile as I could in every area. Maybe not an expert at any of them, but you know, I wanted to be as versatile as possible. That way I could adapt to any opportunity that may come about. So knowing that my dream, you know, was always to drive a Top Fuel dragster, I always felt like I needed to know as much as I could about as much as I could. So
you touched upon that marketing degree, which is also a very different way of approaching it compared to most drivers today. How is kind of dig deeper into how that has helped you with obtaining these sponsors compared to if you went into this cold turkey and just started approaching people. How does having a marketing degree help you in attracting these sponsors, and has it helped you in how to talk to these people to maybe get them to understand a little bit better on why they should get into this? Has that helped you at all?
Absolutely. It's been, we have a great product here in the NHRA and the Top Fuel Dragster. We have to sell that, and we have to educate potential partners on why they should be involved with our team particularly, but with the NHRA, and to the value in drag racing. Getting an education and learning the proper way to do things, the proper ways to approach people I shouldn't say the perfect plan, but like you have to have a plan, and they have to see the benefit as to what they're going to get, why they should be involved with us. So you're not going to just ask for money. You're not nowadays. You're not going to just put a name on the side of a car. There's the B2B marketing, getting companies involved that you can show a return on investment initially when they come on board. Basically create a transaction for them to come on board, and the race car becomes just a bonus then, from the advertising exposure standpoint. So I really try to focus on the B2B side of things, getting the right partners in that, can, get sales right away from being part of our team and the NHRA as a whole.
Well, I've known Will for probably close to a dozen years. He was interning on a pro mod team, Shannon Jenkins, and so and he's always had his eyes on Top Fuel Racing, and I'm a fan of anybody who aspires to race Top Fuel. So anything I could do to help him on his quest for that, so I've kind of somewhat been a mentor to him. And so he's talked to me through the years, and it kind of snowballed into getting his license. We've got a car now that I could almost offer that opportunity. Licensed last year, and then he put together a group of investors to help him, sympathetic to his plight, and he wanted to run Indy, so we did Indy, and now kind of the same thing. It's the next season. He's got a whole race under his belt. Now we're back out there, but this race is being funded by Will's people, so I mean he's really in charge of that. I don't do a lot of NHRA races. I run match races with this car, and then obviously run the two-seater quite a bit as well. And so when the opportunity comes up and we can do NHRA, I'm all ready to go.
You talked about wanting to give anybody their opportunity to go Top Fuel racing. Back at Gainesville, you were able to help Cody Crone attain his Top Fuel license. What does that feel like to be the guy that helps some 19-year-old who is still looking to make his jump to Top Fuel after having such an incredible start to his top alcohol career? What does that mean to you to be able to help him from literally the beginning to be able to hopefully see him become possibly the next Larry Dixon, the next person to go take on Brittany Force? What does that mean to you?
Well, it's nice to be in a position to be able to help someone to do that. He works really closely with Frank Hawley, and the first time I ever got in a dragster was at Frank Hawley's in the early 90s. So and I've always gone to Frank for advice and guidance, and he's good, and Cody's in good hands with Frank, and they approached me about licensing in the car, and we were able to do it. So we went down there, and he did it pretty effortlessly, from that standpoint. Did really well, and now he's getting more seat time in an A fuel car, which is a huge advantage because all the mechanics as far as in the cockpit go are very similar to a Top Fuel car, other than the acceleration part. But so just getting more laps in the A fuel car really help him. But his goal obviously is Top Fuel as well. Same as Will. So again, being able to be in position to help guys out, and and if they want any advice or counsel on that side, I'm always happy to offer it up.
So obviously, one of the last steps to getting to a top fuel dragster is going through top alcohol. Kind of for the people who don't understand, talk about the differences in the learning curve of what you take from that and how much of a step up this is compared to running an alcohol car. What is the learning curves and the challenges with that, and what have you taken from that that helps you here?
I never would have been able to make this move up to top fuel had I not been in a top alcohol dragster for as long as I had. I shouldn't say never. I could have, but this made the transition so much easier. From a procedure standpoint, the cars, they operate the same, as far as from rolling to the water to do your burnout, to doing your burnout, to setting fuel pressure on the line. Just everything about a top fuel dragster and an e-fuel car, for the most part, is the same. So having 150 plus runs in a top alcohol car really made the transition somewhat seamless coming into top fuel. I can only imagine what that would be like without that experience. These cars are extremely fast. They accelerate so quick, and they can be a handful, and it was definitely the path I chose, and getting the drive for Harada Motorsports and Samsels Racing, two great teams. Learned a lot from both sides, and I recommend it for anyone that has the dream, the aspirations to drive a top fuel dragster or fuel funny car, for that matter. Looking at the teams that are out in top alcohol and fuel cars, and as we all know, there's a lot of rental opportunities out there to get in people's cars. So if you really are thinking about you want to be in a top fuel car one day, I highly recommend top alcohol, because it's definitely the platform to build yourself up to, for sure.
And then you're heading to Chicago, your second race. You got the first race out of the way at the U.S. Nationals, kind of a big jump to go to the U.S. Nationals. What is the feeling going into this race, knowing that you already have that first race out of the way? Are the nerves that you've had from Indy still there? And what have you learned from the U.S. Nationals that you're going to apply to this to hopefully finally bump your way into the field to make the run on Sunday?
Me personally, as a driver, I learned a lot from Indy. I made some mistakes there, but with runs and anything you do, whether you do bad or good, you learn from them. You get better, and so definitely as a driver, I do feel better in that regard. I told Larry that I feel so much better going into this weekend, just having Indy, under my belt, under our belt as a team. I don't feel as stressed going into the race, and it's just all the moving components that go together to get this rig, this car, everything to the track and get it to go down the track. It's been, I don't want to say easier, but it's less stressful this go around. So I'm really excited. It's allowed me to kind of just take it all in and really just enjoy the weekend, enjoy getting a chance to drive a top fuel dragster, So definitely looking forward to the weekend. We learned a lot from Indy. The cars have been tested over the winter. Larry and Tony Shortall and the guys were really happy with the progress they made. So we're just looking forward to Friday night. We're looking forward to just making good, clean, straight runs and quick, and hopefully get this thing in the show and race on Sunday.
And obviously, you've had a lot of experience racing there. I've heard some things about the wind being a big factor there in your years of having raced that track. What advice or what knowledge do you have from those races possibly back then that still are going to be a factor today that might help Will in terms of making the field come Saturday?
In my experience, I've raced at tracks that have had stronger crosswinds. I could think of a Dallas. I could think of Pomona, actually, one time them canceling a qualifying session because of the wind. It seems like these cars, the top fuel cars, they have so much downforce in the front and back, and it really never affected me personally that much. I don't know if it's the design of the car, it cuts through the wind pretty good, or the downforce keeps it stuck pretty hard, as opposed to, a pro stock motorcycle or something, a car that doesn't have as much downforce. Obviously that would have affected a ton more. These ones here, they're stuck pretty good, and they're pretty low to the ground, and the walls are pretty tall. It really never really had an effect on me. So if Will ask for advice, I'd tell him not worry about it.
And then so you have the ETs now. You have your best ET from the U.S. Nationals. Do you now have a goal ET that you want to set throughout the weekend that you could be happy with whether or not you qualify?
if you see this car run anything in the 70s, you'll probably see me do a cartwheel at the top end. You know, I would like that 370 time slip. This car is definitely capable of doing that, and that's our goal at the end of the weekend. Shortall told me, he says, you know, we want to have some 70s by the end of the weekend, one way or another. So that's my personal goal. But like I said, just give them good straight runs as a driver. I know they're going to give me a great car, a good quick car, and we'll see where we stack up.
I mean, our car, you know, it's not funded by, you know, a big family or a big sponsor, and so the car is really self-funded. So you got to operate within your means. So I think that we have all the equipment and the wherewithal to be able to run in the high 70s. I mean, there's going to be 20 cars to show up there. I mean, the fact of the matter is you got to run better than 4 of them to be able to get in the field. So I'd like to think that we have a car that can do that. It's just a matter of, you know, having it come up on the scoreboard. So, you know, are we going to try and run, you know, low 70s or high 60s or mid 60s? No, we're not. We don't have the equipment to be able to do that, and so we're going to go down the racetrack and do our best with what we got and hope it's enough.
So you've just got back from Australia too. You've been doing a lot of Top Fuel racing over there. How has that been? Because you've been pretty much all over the place. You just got back to Indy last week from doing that race down there. Will told me you went to a concert on Tuesday, but I think it rained all day. Did it get rained out, or how'd that go?
It was indoor. It was just date night with my gal. So that, I guess my passion's probably racing, but besides that, it's music. So if I can go to, you know, certain shows or something like that, just bought tickets for X. They're playing down in at the Cavern in Tennessee. So we're going to go down there next month and see them. So I like music. I like cars. I guess probably anything loud. There's a common denominator. But no, and then obviously going to Australia, that's always a good time. Been going down there for about 10 years. And it was a good event, right place, right time, opportunity. I'm the 3rd car on a 3-car team, so, and there's 2 events left to the season. Don't really want to race my teammates. I want to race the competition, and that's kind of how it played out. I never got paired up against the teammates, and raced Peter Zizzos, which he was really tight with Damian Harris on the points, and we raced him, close race, got the win, and helped my teammate, and then we end up winning the race in the final round against Phil Lamatina. So great. It was a fun time.
No, obviously I'm going to get, if I don't ask you this question, I'm going to get a bunch of comments about it. If I'm correct, you have your Top Fuel license back. We talked about running in Australia. Is there still any possibility we could see you hop in this car and run over in the States at an NHRA event maybe one last time? Or are those days gone and you're cool running the match races over in Australia?
I haven't run, I mean, it's been 5+ years since I've, you know, raced Top Fuel at NHRA. It's probably, for me, this point in my life, it's not really a goal anymore to be able to just go to an event. I mean, I've been really fortunate to be with some great teams and some, you know, great sponsors and great crews that have been able to win races and championships. And if I never raced in another NHRA race again, I'm all right. Like I feel like I've lived a blessed life. So it's not really a goal. I have my license now. The only reason I really have my license now is to be able to sign off on other people's licenses. They don't let you sign off on it any other way, and it just, you know, it's one less person that you need at the track when that takes place. So, you know, I never fight fate. You know, like if I'm supposed to be on the track, it'll happen. If I'm not supposed to be on the track, it'll happen. So I'm good either way.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun being able to catch up with those two. It was amazing to be able to get to talk to Larry Dixon and Will Smith as they get ready for their second ever event. Be sure to watch along this weekend. I'm hoping to be able to be out for the Route 66 Nationals. We have everything set up, just waiting on the passes to be able to go out for that event. If we do, you obviously see a lot more content, hopefully more videos with Will and Larry as they prepare for the weekend, and more content as we go along throughout the NHRA season. It's been incredible. You don't want to miss it, and you can find it all right here on Binding Max. So be sure to like that video, be sure to subscribe, comment, share it to everybody you know, so that way we can spread the word of drag racing, so that way more people will be able to watch it. This year has been incredible. You can't afford to miss it. Thank you guys so much for the support. Be sure to share it again just so everybody can see it. And until then, this is Mighty Mac, and I will see you next time.